Welcome to the channel. I'm Kay here with your latest political news. In today's political news, we are talking about Melania Trump being back into the spotlight. We have not seen Melania Trump on the campaign trail with Donald Trump since 2020, since he lost in 2020. We know that she appeared at the RNC, but she did not give any speeches like wives normally do. She did not participate at all. I think she wrote a letter, which I'm certain not anyone read, but I think she wrote a letter about the country coming back together and uniting, but it did not register or make headlines or anything like that. When they bring out the wives, it is definitely to try and clean up the spouse's image, the husband's image. I remember them bringing out JD Vance's wife, and let's just say she did not help his cat lady's comments. She did not do any justice to that. She basically confirmed that, hey, this country is more favorable to people who don't have children than people with children. So that did not help JD Vance, and we can see how things are going for him currently. So Donald Trump was seen around town for the past month traveling with Laura Loomer, and he started receiving a lot of backlash for that because of the things that she was posting online and what she was tweeting on X. I don't know if we can say tweeting on X. Well, whatever she was posting to X, and to say that the racism was insane would be an understatement. So now that Laura Loomer is no longer in the picture, in comes Melania Trump to try and clean up her husband's image. I don't think it's working. And we know the campaign is in a lot of trouble. Fox News' latest poll just showed that Kamala Harris is leading, which cannot be good news for the Trump campaign. Let's take a look at some of the things that Melania said in this interview with Fox News, and we'll be back on the other side. Take a look.
And mainstream media branding him as a threat to democracy, calling him vile names, they only fueling a toxic atmosphere and giving power all of these people that they want to do harm to him.
Let's stop right there for a second. Melania, girl, no ma'am. We are absolutely not going there. To say that the media is saying that he is a threat to democracy, anybody that is paying attention to this current election cycle could see that Donald Trump, who says that he wants to be a dictator just for one day, and the land of the free, the home of the brave, he wants to be a dictator for just one day, isn't a threat to democracy? Are we serious right now? And the vile names that they call him. Donald Trump has referred to women as dogs. He's also used a lot of racist tropes to discuss any other group besides white people. So, yeah. Let's move on.
Only fueling a toxic atmosphere and giving power all of these people that they want to do harm to him.
I'm sorry. Giving power to people that want to do harm to him? Your husband used to be the president of the United States. He's using his bully pulpit to spread lies and conspiracy. The people that want to do harm to him, what about the people in Springfield, Ohio? The immigrants in Springfield, Ohio that have been targeted because of the conspiracies and lies that your husband has been using his bully pulpit to spread. Melania, we really doing this, girl?
Stop. This needs to stop. The country needs to unite. And I encourage everybody to read my letter that I wrote on July 14 again, because that cannot continue.
We're not going to read your letter. We're not going to read your letters. And you're saying that the country needs to unite behind a man that is name calling on a daily and consistent basis. He is using his platform to target anybody that Donald Trump has a problem with, or anybody that pisses him off. He uses his social media platform, or he uses the attention that he receives from the media to call that person out, therefore putting a target on their backs. But you're telling us that we need to unite? Maybe you should go and lecture your husband before you lecture us. I don't like it. Don't. Let's keep going.
Letter was very powerful. What made you get to the point of writing that letter?
That's how I felt. That's how I felt.
How do you feel when people say they don't like him? What do you wish they knew about him?
That he's really a family man. He loves his family. He loves this country.
I'm sorry. He's a what? Is that a joke? Are you serious? Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. Family man? Grab him by the lady parts? Family man? Really? That's the hell, girl? That's the hell you're choosing? Melania, you should have just written letters. You should have just written letters from Trump Tower or Mar-a-Lago, wherever you are. You should have just stayed there, wrote letters, or phoned it in, because this is definitely not it. Let's keep going.
Build better and prosperous.
Yeah, he's just strong. He's not afraid to
No, he's not
talk
strong.
about the way
You
it
could
really
see
is.
the way he was when he was shot, that in the ear, that the way he stood up and he said, fight, 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 because...
No, we're not going to do that. I'm always careful in choosing my words, so I'm not. I'm not. I'm very careful and selective about, yeah, no. Even after that attempt, he still went out and targeted a certain group of people, and he has been persistent in doing so. That does not make him strong because he survived an attempt. Any more than those people in Springfield and Aurora who are going through things right now because the president, the former president of the United States, has targeted them and is currently using them to spread lies and hate to win an election, to be president over them and all of the people. Really? Let's go to the next clip.
How did you feel about Donald Trump running again?
I support him. I know how passionate he is to make America great again.
We saw you backstage at the RNC. Do you want to talk about why you decided not to come out on stage and give a speech like you did in 2016?
It was my decision. I think was just the time. I think was the right time. In days before, I wrote a beautiful letter to America.
Yes.
I'm going to stop right there, because the day I wrote a beautiful letter to America, this sounds just like Donald Trump. The big, beautiful letter that he received from Kim Jong-un. They are literally the same people. Why are we seriously taking her serious? Are we really doing this? Okay, let's keep going.
And I think in one way that letter was my speech.
So that letter was your speech. You did not give that speech. You did not want to give that speech. It should have spoken for itself. Is that what you're saying? Is that where we're supposed to go? That's what we're supposed to take from that? I get it. I understand. You did not want anything to do. You still don't want anything to do with this campaign. And them dragging you out here to try and say that Donald Trump is this great family man. I mean, he has literally been running for president since what, 2015, 14, 2013? He's been running for president since then. I think we have a pretty good indication of who Donald Trump is. But you know what? Let's move on. Here's another clip of Melania talking about motherhood. Take a look.
Back from public life, no longer wanted the glamorous photo shoots and the jet-setting lifestyle, and my career took a back seat. Was that a hard change for you?
It was not,
No, why?
because I had a different purpose in life.
Best day of your life when they put the baby in your arms?
Something changes.
Yes.
Yeah, something changes.
There's a picture in the book, and you're working at the desk, and you have Barron in one of those small little motorized cars. His children's books are all over the floor. You have your papers all over the desk. And I looked at that picture and I said, this is a working mom's life. We can all relate to this. Everything's chaotic, everything's hectic, but it's so much fun. And everyone tells us to enjoy those moments because they're fleeting and your kids grow up and it just flies by. When you look at that picture, what was happening in that moment?
When I see it, that was the time that I did QVC collection, my jewelry
Which
and
sold out in
timepieces.
45 minutes.
It did, yes, was very successful. So I was doing all at the same time, working, playing with Baron. He has his own time with, his car and his books, and we talking. So I think it's very important that we show our children that we are working too, to give them an example how life is, that they see us, that we are productive, that we have ideas, that ideas comes to life. And that's how I was showing to Baron.
And
I find this clip absolutely laughable because to this day, we are expected to believe that Melania Trump was Tyra Banks or Naomi Campbell, and she was neither of those. I do not remember Melania Trump being in any big magazines. I could be wrong. I just don't remember it. I don't remember seeing it. And as far as the QVC, who knows? I never knew what she did. Doesn't even matter. But I do know what she did. To say that the kids are watching as your husband targets people that have children that come to this country just like she did for a better life. She wanted to be a model. But to say that and then say we have to be models for our children, really? So Donald Trump is the model that, girl, Michelle Obama is a mother. And what you did to her husband by targeting him to say that he was not born in this country, Melania Trump, an immigrant. You know what? Let's move on. We're going to move on before I go too far. Let's move on. Here's the last clip of Melania Trump discussing the FBI coming to Mar-a-Lago for a search. Take a look.
Mar-a-Lago. The house manager texts you and says the FBI is outside the house. They had access to my bedroom, closets, office, and rummaged through my personal items. Even searched Barron's room, you say. So how invasive was that? Did it make you angry? How did you feel?
Yeah, it made me angry. Yes, invasion of privacy. And the way it was done I was really surprised.
And you told your house manager, just leave it, don't touch anything, don't put it back. You wanted to see it for your own eyes. With your own eyes, what did it look like when you walked back in your house that had been raided?
I saw unpleasant stuff that nobody wants to see it.
Right there, so we can clarify. Mar-a-Lago was not raided. They had a search warrant. Donald Trump was asked in the classified documents case to return the items in which he had, to return all the documents that they knew he had, and he refused to. Back and forth with his lawyer, he said nope, he wasn't going to give it up. He even asked his lawyer if there was a way, a workaround to keep these documents. So when they came in, it was because they had already asked several times and told him that these documents belong to the United States and not your personal documentation files. He refused. But let's keep going.
And you get angry because, nobody should be putting up with that kind of stuff. Some person, I don't even know who or how many people, they went through my stuff.
That's normally what happens when they have a search warrant. They go through your stuff because they're making sure that you're not hiding anything or keeping anything away from them. And invasion of your privacy, you probably should have told your husband to give them back their stuff so that they wouldn't come in and invade your privacy, as you say. It's quite simple.
Is in Butler, Pennsylvania, and you write about watching the assassination attempt on TV, and you started working and you were distracted, so you pushed pause. I think your chief of staff maybe called you and said, he's okay, but there's been a shooting. What happened next?
I ran to the TV and I rewinded and I watched it. I was only a few minutes behind. And something, I guess, look over me. So I didn't really see live, but maybe, 3 minutes, few minutes later. But when I saw it, it was only, nobody really knew yet. Right. Because when you see him on the floor and you don't know what really happened.
So you called him and he didn't answer his phone, and you called Secret Service. Mm-hmm. And what did they say?
First, the Secret Service was not available too because they were with him, right? And then after that, I got the Secret Service on the phone and they said that he's okay. We are on the way to the hospital. He will be okay.
Okay, so here are my final thoughts. Donald Trump's campaign is in trouble. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are in trouble. Kamala Harris is starting to rise in the polls, and this is causing a lot of panic at Fox News. It's causing a lot of panic within Donald Trump's campaign, and he's getting more desperate. So he's throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, including having his wife go on Fox News to speak on his behalf and to promote her book. So I don't take anything that she says seriously. Her and Donald Trump, to me, are the same people. She's promoting a book, all while trying to tell the American people that what we have been seeing all this time isn't really who he is. This is some character that he's playing for the public, and in private, he's a completely different person. Because that's essentially what I've heard. He's a family man. He wants to make the country better. We need to unite. I don't take anything that she says seriously. She should start by telling her husband, you have to stop referring to people in the way in which you do. It is not helpful, it is harmful, and it can cost people their lives. She can start there before she gets out here and tries to lecture us. I also think that she is not interested in being First Lady again. That's why we haven't seen her. She could have had she had the opportunity to make a speech at the RNC. She had an opportunity to make a big speech after Donald Trump's first and second assassination attempt, but she chose to write a letter and to not address the public publicly. But she came out to talk about this book. She came out to try and sell us on this alternate personality that Donald Trump obviously have that none of us has seen. I don't take what she says seriously at all. To me, she's not helpful. Bringing her out means absolutely nothing. It's not going to move the needle with independent voters. It's not going to move the needle with undecided voters. It's already baked in. We know who Donald Trump is, and we know exactly who Melania Trump is. That is all I have for today. I am going to go, as always, to touch some grass, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, sound off in the comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.